Hey, what's going on, Cashflow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and I got Matt and Jeff here with me. Today, we're going to have a little bit of a smaller panel, but I think it's actually probably for the better because we're going to have probably all going to have a lot of chiming in that we want to do. If you've been following the channel, you obviously know. Actually, we got another person that joined. So if you've been following the channel, you know that we've been doing a lot of responses to what's been going on in the world of World Financial Group and kind of other MLMs. And it's really interesting because, as we've evaluated these different business models and, kind of we get kickback from people and I guess people fighting back, so to speak, to defend their way of doing things and kind of positioning the fact that World Financial Group is not an MLM. They're an agency that you have the ability to build your own agency, and that's their stake in kind of the flag that they plant for all the independent agents is basically saying, hey, we're not an MLM. We are an agency. We are a professional financial services organization, just like any other life insurance agency. And so, but we're just an agency that's enabling people to build their own agencies. And so it's all bullcrap. That's not really the truth. That's not the way it works. And what's funny, I had somebody comment the other day, before actually, Michael, I think you shared this video that we're going to review today and kind of go through the Eric Olson, the GFI exit from World Financial Group. And we're going to go into this interview. Apparently GFI is partnering with Ethos, which, is the same company that FFL partners with and does a lot of business with IUL. So I've already reviewed a lot of this stuff, and we've already kind of talked about how bad the Ethos IUL products are. Super expensive, designed to be simplified issue, designed to be kind of one call closes, which, listen, for the agent's perspective, yeah, it's nice. It makes you a lot of money really fast. You're definitely not doing things in the best interest of the client if you go that route and you sell those products and you represent those products. There's zero chance you can tell me, even if you believe in IUL, guys, even if like I said IUL was okay, which I'm not going to do. But even if I did, and let's say we have 74 companies selling IUL, the Ethos product is going to be at the bottom quarter of that as far as pricing, expenses, all these different things, and cash liquidity, and especially people that are trying to utilize it for infinite banking and stuff of that nature. It's definitely not something that I think people would get behind if they really knew what they were getting involved with. And so the fact that Olson is getting involved with Ethos is kind of laughable to me. I don't know Eric Olson or anything like that, but I've got a lot of experience with Ethos. They've tried to come at us and try to recruit us and partner with us and all that stuff. And I'm just like, couldn't run fast enough in the other direction. You know what I mean? So what's interesting though, is I have this thing and I want to share it. I found this. Oh, where did it go? Oh no. Oh crap. I had a thing up about Eric Olson, but now I have a different lawsuit up here. I had two dossiers up or whatever. I do this. I go through these legal filings that all these people do all the time. But I'll say this. Somebody made a comment to me the other day in our video that we did about Eric Olson suing WFG, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, Eric, I guess I would say there's people on both sides of the pendulum, right?" Some people said WFG and Eric Olson are scams and criminals, and some people said Eric Olson screwed over WFG, and some people said that WFG screwed over Eric Olson. And so we obviously went at it and read Eric Olson's filing against WFG. And so in that, he talked about how unjust it was and how they treated him and like kind of all the business practices and all that stuff. And, we walked through that, and I'll put the description in the link below. If you want to go back and watch that video, people can go back and watch that video. We did it live maybe a month and a half ago. And it was great. But the funny thing is somebody made a comment in the comment string of it like 3-4 days ago and was like, you're missing the ball, basically. Like if you're going to review this, you should do it from the other side, and you should review World Financial Group's lawsuit claim against Eric Olson. I was like, that's fair. Send me the thing and I'll do it. Like I'm not like, I don't think either of them are good. Like I'm not here to defend either one. I'm just going through looking at the facts. And, what I find is funny is in these lawsuit filings, and in these claims, what's interesting is the truth has to come out, right? Because they have to like get into the reality behind it all. And the funny thing was in the World Financial Group, and I don't have it right now, but we'll do another video on this going through it because I think it warrants like attention. But in going through it, at the beginning of the claim, basically it says World Financial Group is an MLM, also known as multi-level marketing organization that sells life insurance products, right? And so it's like, no wonder people are getting screwed, because they're getting tied in with an MLM organization, which means you're never going to be independent. You're never going to own your business. You're assigning value. You're assigning the ownership essentially to the MLM company, not you. They can give you a certain amount of control and like lifetime benefit, and they can let you have it so your heirs can inherit it in certain ways, but they can also take that stuff away from you. The thing is, with an MLM contract, they have the legal ability to change anything on you at any point in time. And if you go read your agreement with them, I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to say, right? And so you got to be really, really careful when it comes to getting involved in an MLM. And before we get started in this video, I mean, I think that's why we're doing things the way that we're doing it. On top of the fact that I can't stand IUL, and I think it's misrepresented, and I think there's a big challenge, and I'm sure we're going to get into all this as the day goes on, because I'm sure these guys, and for full disclosure, we haven't watched this video. I don't think any of us on this. Michael, have you actually watched this video?
No, not yet.
Okay. So full disclosure, none of us have actually watched the video. I've been intentionally waiting to watch it, because I didn't want to waste 40 minutes of my life before doing this, because I was like, okay, this is too gold. We're just going to react to it live and see how it goes. And so we're gonna just react to it here. I'm gonna put the video on 1 1/4 speed, because my brain I don't think it can move slow enough to go at 1x with these guys. So we'll do 1 1/4. We'll see how it goes. But I'm sure we'll respond to all the IUL stuff. But really, the reason we started Life 180 was a response to all the people that were getting hurt in the MLM fallout of, they joined an MLM. They didn't even realize they were joining an MLM because it's position and it's misleading and all this stuff. And I'm actually shocked the FTC hasn't gotten involved. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, and actually having an agency that people can kind of have a hybrid of, if you want to build an agency, you can. If you want to just go out and be a producer, you can. You own your own business. You're vested day one. You get paid directly from the companies. You don't get paid by Life 180. We're just the go-between, and we're helping people do the training, and we're helping you establish the relationships with the carriers that you need, because that's the way I think the business should be done. I don't think you should ever go independent, quote unquote, and give me all the control of your business. I just think that's kind of bullcrap. So without further ado, where is this video? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Here we go. All right, I got it. I got to just find the tab to share. I found it. That was easy. Share the audio. All right, you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
I think we can handle this. Here we go. Let me get the speed on the right speed, and we will go. All right.
It's your Ethos podcast, where we interview the leaders from insurance carriers, distributors, and insurtechs, tackling some of the thorniest issues in the industry. I'm Peter Colas, the CEO of Ethos. Today, I'm so excited to have with us Eric Olson, the CEO and founder of Global Financial Impact, otherwise known as GFI. GFI is a major life insurance distributor. Their mission is to make a significant impact on people's financial well-being and their ability to create positive change. GFI is focused on building and securing wealth for families and individuals, creating a movement of financial professionals, and helping people turn wealth into impact. Eric is revered in the life insurance industry as an exceptional leader, having made a difference for countless families during his career. As a cornerstone of his previous company, World Financial Group, otherwise known as WFG, Eric recruited over 200,000 agents during his tenure. While GFI...
Holy cow. All right, let's start there.
That's great.
If you look at the filing, he had 20,000 agents. 20,000 agents in his downline. So that means 9 out of 10 in his agency just vanished. If he recruited 200,000, he had to recruit 200,000 agents, 200,000 just to end up with 20,000.
And of course, the other thing, look, I'm happy for people's success and whatnot. I'm not a fan of MLM whatsoever. I drank the network marketing MLM Kool-Aid a long time ago. I learned my lesson, and it's just not. I don't like the business model, but especially when we're talking about combining Ethos now, selling IUL and stuff. I just think it's really dangerous. But what I noticed though is okay, you recruited 200,000 people, but where is the conversation about where they're saying helping people with their finances? Like, how many people have you helped with your finances, and what type of impact are we talking about there? Because when you're selling stuff like IUL, which is an inherently risky product, especially when you don't know how it works, which most of the agents selling it don't know how it works. So when they say creating an opportunity to create all of these financial professionals, well, in order to be a professional, you have to actually know what you're doing and selling. And in my experience, a lot of people don't even know what they're selling with this stuff. Now, I don't know if I just see GFI as a repeat of WFG or an extension of WFG, and I just haven't heard good things about the product knowledge, the education and the training and stuff like that. And it's just it's all focused when you're talking about MLM, like GFI, WFG, it's all focused around recruiting. It's not actually helping. You rarely hear the conversation about actually helping people with their finances, and that just bugs me.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right, man. I think it's interesting to me looking at this, and it just so far it's interesting to me seeing how bold he was and just putting out the fact that he's been involved in this lawsuit and it's going on. He's just moving forward full steam, being like, all right, come and get it, basically, right? Like he straight up just said he was a former leader in WFG, which I guess isn't a secret, so that is what it is. But also, as somebody who's gone through these sorts of transitions with non-competes and all these things going on, and non-disclosure agreements that I'm almost certain he's had to have signed working with WFG, putting it out there, it's just a bold move. I mean, I'm not saying it's good or bad or he's right or he's wrong. I'm just saying he's coming out hard. He's coming out swinging. So we'll see how it goes.
Is just getting started. Eric is well on his way to building something even more impactful in the next chapter. I've gotten to know Eric through GFI's partnership with Ethos, and I'm excited to sit down and talk with him today. Eric, thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome, Peter. It's an honor to be on your podcast, man. I respect you a lot and appreciate you having me on.
The feeling is mutual. So, Eric, you started life as a star athlete, football player, basketball player, track star, shot putter. You're ambitious. You're a hardworking person. You made the successful leap from being an athlete to a business person. You were a self-made millionaire before you were 30 years old. Tell me, what got you started in life insurance?
Well, I appreciate that, Peter. It sounds better than it is. I feel like I'm just a regular guy. When I was 21 years old, I was the captain of the San Jose State football team. I was actually working at the San Jose airport in Northern California. And I'm 6'5", big old guy. I was stuck in a toll booth for 4.5 years. And I remember saying a prayer one time. I said, God, please don't just have me stay in this toll booth for the rest of my life. And luckily, someone recruited me into the insurance industry and, ultimately changed my life.
That's an incredible story. So you start building a distribution business at World Financial Group, which is a big distributor owned by the carrier Transamerica. Over 20 years, you go on to recruit 200,000 agents with your organization that you manage, selling over $300 million of index universal life insurance a year, as well as other products like term and annuities, et cetera. When you look at this hyper-competitive world of life insurance distribution that is relatively stagnant and doesn't see certain distributors grow that quickly typically, what has separated you from other distribution leaders? Why have you had so much success in both recruiting agents, but also in growing sales?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, Peter. When I was 21 years old starting out in WFG, which I'm very grateful for WFG, they gave me my start. And I remember saying a prayer, and I feel like I made a deal with God. I said, God, if you help me become successful and get me out of this toll booth, I'll dedicate the rest of my life to helping others become successful. And so that's literally what I did. I made my first 7-figure annual income by age 25, and I never looked back. ever since then. And my focus, what separates me, is called leadership development, because it's not about me, it's about our people. And we recruit and we train and we help and we coach and we mentor people to become the best version of themselves. So I don't want to be known as the millionaire. I'd like to be known as the millionaire maker, because it's not about me, it's about helping others become successful. So that's always been my focus, and it's helped me become successful so far.
I mean, that's interesting. It's all good words, right? That's a classic kind of MLM kind of take on things, right? It's like it's John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership, right? It's like you got to build, the teams, and you're going to be successful if you help other people be successful, and all these things. Like, it's true. Like, there's no disputing any of the stuff that he's saying right there. I guess once again, though, the question is you out of the 20,000 people on the team, how many people are actually successful currently, and actually made enough money to be successful? Out of those people that made enough money, how many of those people were actually competent in their business? I'm not saying I know the answer to this, but these are questions to ask. And then if you really break it down and you kind of go out of the 20,000 and then out of the people that were competent, and let's say that 500 of those people were competent. Well, he's gone through 200,000 people to find 500 people, be successful. Is that, I don't know, like, once again, not trying to be critical, but like, I look at that as a bad number, right? Like, if you got to go through 200,000 people, it's one thing to like look at the people that you helped, and which is okay. Sure, you helped 500 people or whatever the number would be that really were successful. And it's another thing to look at the 199,500 people that were kind of chewed up and spit out the other side. And to me, that's the part of the problem. And that's the thing that inspires me. And I'll say this to that accord. I have no illusion about the fact that this industry is hard as hell, right? Like, I say it all the time. Anybody that came to the mastermind, I mentioned, it'll be the hardest thing you ever do in business, probably getting started in this business. And that's why I think doing it part-time should be, a focus. Charles just joined the call. Charles doing this part-time. He's got a successful job that he makes good money in, but he hates the job, right? And he's looking for another path. And so he's doing this. He's basically working 2 full-time jobs right now. I can't even say he's doing this part-time. He's doing 2 full-time jobs right now, just to get where he wants to go. But he's not going to like cut his nose off to spite his face and put himself in a position where he's kind of encouraged to make put in a position with moral hazards, where he's going to have to maybe make tough decisions to survive and benefit his family at the expense of his clients potentially, right? Now, I'm not saying that's what everybody's doing with GFI or WFG or these companies, but I will say that the system certainly encourages that behavior. Does that make sense? Anybody else got anything they want to say?
Yeah, it absolutely does encourage that. And I remember watching an Instagram reel that I think Ian shared it in the Discord a while back with Eric Olson. And, I'm not opposed to inspirational, motivational type videos that get you excited and, it gets you off your rear end and, to get you to take action and stuff like that. But like just the messaging across it where, he was saying like, just go for it, which is not just that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when you start telling people like, oh, you hate that job, that 9-to-5 job, just go for it, man. Become an entrepreneur, quit your job and do this, and this, and take advantage of this opportunity. And, I listened to that kind of, that kind of message for a long time. And it's totally screwed my life up. It was just a horrible, and that's on me. I'm not saying it's any specific person's fault just because I watched a video, but I'm saying the messaging around it and just the interpretation of it. And then also too, we're talking about like how he's helped, however many financial professionals, right, agents become successul and stuff. It's like also, how did you get to that success as well? Because when I think, again, going back to the product, the primary product that they focus on selling, is it actually helping people? Well, I suppose the agent that's getting commissions on it, or your upline, because you don't even get the commission when from what I understand, when they sell your friends and family before you're done. But it's also like, how are you helping people become successful? Are we really helping these families that you're talking about with their finances? Or are you selling a product that you have no idea how it works? The family doesn't know how it works, and yet they're making major financial decision that's going to their finances long term. Like, okay, it's cool that you helped people, you helped some people get successful, but how did you do it? And selling trash like IUL when you don't know how it works, what the risks are, just to make money. I can't.
Well,
it's so out of alignment with me.
Yeah, and I think the dangerous part when you mix financial services with MLM, which we've already discussed, is that MLM inherently is focused around recruiting, is focused around like an internal consumption model, going on auto ship and having the policies for your, like doing all these things. And when, like, listen, once again, if you're selling face cream or vitamins or something like that, no problem, no harm, no foul. Like, you're never going to ruin anybody's life. But when the decision is to get your friends and family and push them into getting recruited and buying these products and doing all these things as the kind of front position, number one activity you're supposed to be doing, rather than learning and becoming a business professional, that's where I have a problem with it. And that's where, like, these companies, I mean, it's been admitted, like WFG in the filing against Eric Olson says, hey, we're an MLM. This is what we do. And so you cannot be an MLM without having a front focus on recruiting. Is that fair? It's the nature of it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. It's the nature of it. So, all right, let's keep going. Anybody else has anything to chime in, just like say stop or pause, and I'll pause it.
That makes sense. So earlier this year, you made a big decision, which was you decided to leave WFG, where you had built up a massive business, and you
Guys, can I do 1.5x? This drives me nuts.
Go ahead. It's fine by me.
Go faster.
found with your wonderful wife, Sandra, Global Financial Impact, GFI. What inspired you to leave such a big business that you had already built, and in some ways start over from square one, and in other ways not, but go off, strike off, become an entrepreneur yourself?
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur at spirit, at the heart, like always. When I was 13, 14, 15, I was doing little side jobs with my dad, and just always being an entrepreneur. And WFG, again, I'm very thankful and grateful for them, but it just got very, very corporate at WFG, and they took away the ownership program, and they took away different things and bonus pools. And I said, you know what? How about my wife and I start?
Oh, it's interesting. They took away all that stuff I just talked about. Like, they can take it away instantaneously, so you can have it. It's like all the I've been talking to this with people from PHP right now. They have this like new ownership program that people, like, you can hit a certain period where you can get ownership, but guess what? They could take that away too. And if a company like WFG can take it away from Eric Olson, who is their top producer, they can do it to anybody. And these companies, that's the nature of what they do. They can change the contracts anytime, anyway, anyhow.
And I'm pretty sure it's
built by entrepreneurs.
That is what?
Correct. I'm pretty sure it's like the contract for GFI is almost the exact same. Like, I have to, like, I've actually seen it. I have to give a shout out to Mackenzie Long. Like, he's covered it really, really well. And he goes through, like, he did a full video going through the GFI contract, and it says it right in there that they own your business and they can change what they need. And, that's why you need to be really careful with this stuff. And as long as you know what you're getting involved with, I suppose, if you want to take the shot, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's just like IUL. Like, a lot of people buy IUL not knowing what they're actually getting. Same thing with companies like GFI, WFG, PHP. Like, you don't know what you're actually getting involved in.
That's so funny, the correlations, isn't it? Isn't that like hilarious, the correlations between the companies that are selling IUL and you're selling this product where you give up all the control of what actually happens, and you're joining this business where you're giving up all the control of what actually happens to you, yet somehow they're expecting like all these controlled results, like,
when I found out that you don't own the business, where, like, let's say you've sold a ton of IUL and you're supposed to get all these renewals and then you leave, that's not yours. That's not your book of business. Companies
Michael,
like GFI owns that.
Yeah, Michael was involved in that. Like, how did that go for you?
Yeah, actually, that's one of the reasons I ended up leaving. But I read some of these contracts, and that's exactly the feeling I get when I read the contracts. I'm like, what is this, an IUL contract? You give all the control of everything, even like the litigation. You give up your rights to a lot of stuff there too. But when I started just looking around, I mean, just kind of go back to your point, Matt. They're not really helping people financially, right? They're selling a product. I'll give you my first month. I started with WFG, right? First week, I recruited 6 people. I had no clue what I'm doing.
Well done, bro. Well done.
Hey, I did what I was supposed to do, right? But I didn't know what I was doing. And I bought my policy just like I was supposed to. my mentor, he sold me he goes, well, how much can you afford? Like $300-400. And we said $400. And he sold me a $400 IUL at Target. Yep. So when I needed the money, it wasn't liquid, it was under surrender. I ended up just surrendering the policy and just eating it. But I didn't see any reason to keep it, unfortunately. But I wish somebody had, educated me like I am now, and I would have made different choices, and I would have exponentially put myself in a better position. But they don't know what they're talking about. They're selling these products at Target. It's going to eat up all these people's savings.
Yep.
And that's how they're, quote unquote, helping people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. So, all right, well, let's keep going.
And ran by entrepreneurs, because we know what it's like to go out there. What we do is not easy. Obviously, it's.
Oh yeah, he's an entrepreneur. He wanted to start his own thing. Like you said, Matt, I don't have any disparaging thoughts about or emotions about him wanting to go do his own thing, but to say that you're reshaping the life insurance distribution industry, you're just duplicating what you came from. You just wanted to be in a position of control and power, so nobody could do it to you. Now he can do it to other people.
Correct.
That's super worth it. It's amazing of how much we're helping people. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're with good people and you're doing good things. And so after 21 years in the business, making $1 million a month in personal income, before age 40, I had no ownership. I had no ability to own anything. And so I said, you know what? Why not create a company where I give my top performers ownership? And that's what we did, and it wasn't an easy decision, but sometimes you got to give up good to get great.
So let me be real clear on this, because this is an MLM thing to do. When a top leader from an MLM leaves, and I've been involved, I've done consulting with MLMs over the years. This happens all the time. An MLM leader leaves, and by the way, my first big mentor was one of the top 10 income earners with Amway of all time. So that puts it into concept. It's like Amway is far and away the Goliath of the MLM industry, and this guy, like, I know MLM intimately, just because of his mentoring. And these leaders will leave. And he's like, my top leaders got ownership. Notice, like, the wordplay there. It makes it sound like, oh, GFI is different because you get ownership. No, he said, my top leaders have ownership. And the reason he gave his top leaders ownership is because if he didn't, they wouldn't leave what they already had, because they wouldn't put it all at risk without a little ownership. It's not like he's structuring this company in some moral, ethical way to be able to benefit people. No, he had to buy people's way of leaving in the form of ownership. That's it. Am I missing something?
I just like how these MLMs, they're just so full of shit. I mean, they say, oh, you're going to grow your own business, even though we can just take it away tomorrow if we feel like it. Yep. And the problem is nobody understands the contract, or they don't read the contract. And if they do read the contract, they don't know what they're reading.
Right.
And it's just so sad that, people could be in an agency for years, come to realize that they don't actually own any of the things that they put together. It's just really sad. And like you said, like, this is just part of like the MLM culture. And that's why I'm grateful for Life 180.
And it's another like when it comes to MLM, like you were saying earlier, Chris, like the problem with companies like GFI, WFG, et cetera, it's not necessarily that they're MLM companies. I mean, I'm not a fan, but because like you said, in this particular case, they're not selling protein powders and, makeup kits and stuff like that. These are financial products that can have major lifelong consequences for people. And oftentimes too, the agents themselves are the customers. They're buying their own policies. So not only are you joining an MLM where I think it's like 99%, I don't know, like at least 90% of people do not make any money. In fact, they lose money joining the opportunity. But now you have this really crappy financial product that you're putting a ton of money into as well at the same time. So you're almost kind of getting screwed twice, where you don't own your business. They've also now convinced you to buy this terrible policy that you have no idea how it works. You're just dumping money into it because that's what your upline told you to do. That's what they did. Oh man! And the cycle repeats itself, and it's just that's the big difference between these.
Check it out, man. That actually, so what you just said there takes what we were talking about earlier. He's got 20,000 agents in the filing about that and from WFG, or his claim against WFG. He just said he's recruited 200,000, so it's 180,000. The thing that you just said, I would love to see an audit on the 180,000 agents that bought a policy when they joined, and how much money it cost those 180,000 people in lost money because it's, once again, it's not that I have a problem with the fact that he's helped maybe 500 people become really successful, and like, okay, that's fine, but it's how are you becoming successful, and what's the wake of wreckage that you leave in people's lives along the way? Like,
and how much of that, remember you said earlier is that he sold like 300 million in IUL and other products and stuff. I wonder how much of that was just bought from the agents. Like did you actually go out and, like, how many families did you quote unquote help?
Most of it.
Or was it just the agents?
Most of it. It's an internal consumption model. That's what it does, right? Like, agent joins, they buy, they're recruiting. Like, you recruit 180,000 agents. Like, the whole idea in WFG is you recruit all these people because, you know, for every one person you recruit, you're at least going to get a policy sale out of it, which, listen, I have no problem with people, like agents, getting a policy on themselves. Like, I think you should. The challenge is when you do IUL, like, you should be going slow and maybe have your policy first and like believe in it before you actually join the company, not join the company and then buy the policy because they say you have to. And
And not to mention that they don't get paid to set up their own policies like we do. We get paid to actually set up our own policies.
I always forget that.
Yeah, it's a really cool benefit, and I think that's how it should be. I thought that was just normally the case, anyways. But then I learned that, like, companies like WFG, I don't know how it is with GFI, but they sell you on these policies so that your upline earns the commission on your policy instead of you. Okay, so you know, you join a company like Life 180 and you get your own policy, which I agree. I think every agent should own their own policy. But you join Life 180, we get paid to set up our own policies, guys. So huge difference.
Yeah, because you shouldn't set your. I mean, you should start the process, but, like, you know, if you have your license, you know, and you should set it up in such a way that you're able to get paid on your own policy. I think that's absolutely the way it should be. So, all right, let's keep rolling.
And that's what we did.
So pulling on that thread, at GFI, your primary mission is to provide individuals with the opportunity to not only succeed, but to become genuine owners of the business. And you aim to recruit business builders versus just agents selling. Why? Can you talk a little bit about that culture and what you hope GFI to become, you know, for the agents going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just became officially CEO of GFI just a couple of weeks ago. It was very nice of my wife to promote me to CEO. And, you know, we've recruited over 7,500 agents and we helped over 6,500 clients just in the first 10 weeks that GFI has been in business. And so I just think about that because I made a decision to do GFI. We've already helped 13,000 families, and ultimately we're going to go recruit 100,000 agents. But like you said, we're not just looking for just any kind of life insurance agents or any kind of financial advisors. We're looking for leaders. We're looking for leaders that want to go out there and make a 6-figure income part-time or make a 7-figure income full-time. And we'll train up these leaders and help them become very, very successful. And that's.
Are you a leader when you make a lot of money, or are you a leader when you, like, help other families just better their financial life? Why is the metric of success, you know, how much money you make? Now, granted, I believe the beautiful part about this business, when you do it the right way, is the more people you help, the more value you're adding to them, the more your income is going to reflect that. And once again, it's how are you doing it? What products are you using? And what's the long-term ramification? Once again, I would love to see an audit on his book of business, you know, of the clients, like, because all these numbers he's throwing out are great, but they really don't mean anything except for the fact that he's benefited. That's all they mean.
And I think it's important to add, you know, they use the word help their clients, but really they're just, you know, the majority of these IMOs are just helping themselves, right?
They're selling.
They're selling, exactly.
They're selling
and the whole premise and the reason that you're not really educated with IULs is because if you actually educated anybody about them, they wouldn't actually, you know, the majority of the people, 90% of the people wouldn't actually get an IUL. Right. And it also hurts the whole business model, right? It hurts the profitability of the company because, as you know, they talk about profits so much. Like, oh, this is, you know, their sole metric and them helping people is how much money they're actually, you know, generating within the company. But if you're really helping somebody, you're actually first educated on the product, and then you're educating your clients on the product as well. And that's where these companies don't do that at all. Their focus isn't on education. Their focus is on sales. And that's a huge distinction that you really need to think about.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what it's all about. Leadership development.
Yeah,
Leadership development is the focus. We're good people.
I got that real quick. Yeah, to piggyback on that, Charles. I mean, I think I've gotten some emails. My wife's gotten emails from these types of companies. This one in particular, GFI. I just got one last week. Just solicited. And the thing that strikes me interesting is the nature of what they're talking about. It's the money. It's being a leader. There's no emphasis on what is the client's benefit. How are we specifically benefiting the client? What is the education that we're giving the client? It's not client centered. It's not bad, but that you guys, your life, like, what do we talk about? We talk about the values and beliefs of our clients, aligning financial strategies with those.
Oh yeah.
See that?
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, your connection is really bad. You're breaking up. It's like super pixelated. I love what you're saying. But like, there's no connection. It's like, it's going bad on you, bro.
Yeah. Am I back?
Yeah. I think you're back now, Jeff.
I think you're back.
Am I back? Okay. Yeah. But I mean, just compare and contrast that to, here at Life 180, like, it's the opposite. I mean, we were down at the mastermind for a week. How many times did the discussion come up, guys, of how much money we're going to make and, the success and how many people we're going to recruit? I mean, maybe we spent, an hour talking about that tops out of a week. That was not the essence of it. Whereas, this video is all about.
Right.
Sexy. It's, very like flaunting that you create. And it's just a different energy. And I mean, if you align with that energy, be a part of that. I mean, obviously some people that, but say with financial strategies and what we're doing with life insurance, like, make sure you align with this and do your homework on these types of companies, because they're not all that they're spoken to be. I mean, there's a lot of great words spoken, but not a lot of meaning and depth behind those words.
Yeah, I would say this, just to kind of piggyback on that, and why I do things the way that I do as far as training goes, is because I just don't believe you should get in this business. If you're getting in this business for the sake of making more money, that's a problem on its own. You're going to have a hard time managing that, managing your expectations and everything. And so the people that I love in this business are the people that get in the business because they discovered it. They discovered the power of it. They went through their own journey, their own process. They went through their own education, their own journey of self-discovery through it. And they've like vetted it and tested it and gone through that process for themselves, right? And so there's an authentic buying process, not, hey, Matt, join my company, now buy a policy, because if you want to sell it, you got to be a product of the product and do all these things. Like, there's truth in the fact that you should have it if you're going to sell it, but there's also a lot of truth that there's got to be an authentic process that you're going through, because now, and I could tell you everybody on this call, the reason that they're on this call with me, Jeff, Matt, Mike, Charles, I know their stories intimately, a couple of them, on what their journeys were, on how they discovered this and why they were wanting to use it in their own life. And, Charles is doing this not because, he needs the money, but because he was looking to do real estate investing, and he was looking for the most efficient way to do it. And then he found this strategy and he started doing it himself. And then he was like, holy crap, this is amazing. What would it be like if I shared this with other people? And then he started realizing, oh, I hate my job. Wow, I could actually get away from my job by doing this thing and sharing this thing that I love and that I'm doing anyway to buy all my cash flow investing real estate properties. I can actually make money doing this with other people. Like, how freaking cool is that? Do you see the dynamic shift in between, like, hey,
huge,
I'm going to send you a LinkedIn message. You want to come join my organization and make 6 figures of income and blah, 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 teach you how to be rich, versus like the journey of like, here's what I'll say, people. Success leaves clues, right? Boom. Somebody here's commenting. Hold on. I have some good friends who are doing GFI too, and I tried to tell them that the products they're helping with is faulty, and I cannot sell that trash. That hurts many people. Money is number 2 to truly helping. Absolutely.
Well said.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. Ray, that's amazing. and that's why you're not with GFI.
I think that's a big part too of like this, why stuff like this, with GFI, WFG, it's very misleading. Like when they tell you, oh, you're going to make all this money by helping people. Okay, what does that actually mean? Like they're assuming that you're helping somebody just because you're selling a financial product. Like, and everybody's telling me that this financial product is amazing without actually doing any due diligence into the product itself. When you actually do, are you actually helping people, or are you just in this opportunity to make money? Because it's easy to sell upside potential, downside protection. Look at this amazing illustration I put together for you, all this tax-free retirement income, blah, 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 blah. And you assume you're helping people, but you're actually hurting them. And when you, I think to not fall into that is what you were saying, Chris, is getting into this type of business. Again, we're not talking about MLMs that sell protein shakes and stuff like that. We're talking about financial services here. There's a lot of moral hazard involved, or can be anyways, because people don't know what they're selling. And if you actually go down the journey yourself, just like most of us, like all of us have, I know I certainly have, I didn't mean to get into this business. Like you said, Chris, I just thought this was a really cool strategy using dividend paying whole life insurance. I saw what it was doing in my life. I thought, how cool would it be if I shared this with others, and then also expose the trash that I almost bought, IUL, at the same time to try and protect people from that. That's how I got into it. I didn't get into it because I saw Eric Olson's Instagram video or reel, whatever, showing him on the beach with all the cars. And I look at this luxurious lifestyle you can create for yourself by helping people, right? It's just really, really misleading. And
I love that. Yeah, totally. And here's the deal. I just thought about something, and I don't know why my brain went back to what he was saying. He's like, when he's talking about how just in this short period of time as they launched GFI, we've had 6,500 agents and 7,500 policies or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but he basically said we've helped 13,000 families. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so here's the deal. He's taking two different numbers, but their business model is internal consumption. So the fact that he's had 6,500 agents join, if 6,500 agents bought policies, which is really what they do, right? He's not helping 6,500 and 6,500. He's taking one group, but he's marketing it as this like bigger thing.
And how many of those were their family, like within the same family as well? You pitch your family and friends, right?
And so it's just like it's so obnoxious. Like when you understand how this stuff works, to listen to the marketing bullcrap, and like. It sounds so impressive when you listen to it, but then when you sift through it, you're like, it's kind of scammy. No, it's not kind of. It's absolutely scammy.
When you dissect and read in between the lines, it's super scammy. But every time I hear a company like that say they're helping somebody, in my head it's replaced by screwing people. Like I'm screwing people, right? Like every single time. Because that's how I feel. That's what they're doing with the whole industry. So
yeah, man.
Yeah. Here, think about this too, guys. Like if we're comparing it to other MLMs, and I mean, I looked down when my internet broke up, and I actually had a text from my wife and I are looking at a health and wellness product in a certain MLM because it was taught or told to us about the benefits of it. And think about this with some of these MLM IUL companies. Are we hearing about of how great the products are doing, and we're hearing about this from our own friends and family and circles because of like how well are doing for people, how like benefiting people, and their finances are just going through the roof because of what these financial products are doing. No, we're only hearing about these companies because of recruiting on the agent side. And the agents are spreading all this message like wildfire. It's like the exact opposite of how normal MLMs spread by, the success of the product, the success of the makeup, the success of, the protein powder, whatever. Like it's the exact opposite in this. And I just find that very interesting because I wonder what we would find if we did an audit of retention rate of these policies. And I think we all have an idea of what that would look like, but to find those actual numbers would be very interesting because this whole conversation is just like, wait a minute, this isn't even how a normal MLM usually functions. This is like kind of the opposite. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Here's what I know is they're going to tell you the good of IUL, right? They're going to talk about how money grows, right? You can take advantage of market gains, but you never have any losses. They're going to talk about how it gets taxed, right? They don't even tell you it's tax deferred. like the cash value gross tax deferred, they tell you it's tax free, right? And when you have the client just understand those two concepts, then, oh yeah, well, I want that, of course. Like, who wouldn't want that, right? But they don't tell you the cost of insurance. They don't tell you the annual renewable term in the back end. They don't tell you what the contract looks like. They don't tell you any of these things.
Yeah.
If you're the agent or the client, it's up to you to actually read your contract, right? Actually see what controls and what levers are in that contract, what the guarantees are, what's not guaranteed, right? And so as a brand new agent, like for me, I bought the policy because I believed in it, right? But I didn't know the truth.
Sucker.
I didn't know how I didn't know the illustrations were fake, right? I thought, oh yeah, it's conservative. I bought in, right? But I think it just goes to say, you know, when you're a brand new agent, do your homework, right? Like do your research, read your contract, right? Because every agent should own their own product, 100%, right? But they should not be buying the product just because they need to own it to sell it, right? They should have done their own research and know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And if you do your own research and you don't believe in it, then you're in the wrong industry. Like, go find something you can believe in.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. So let's keep going. I have a feeling I'm going to try to keep letting this go, but man, I don't know why I can't listen without
doing good things for families. And we just so happen to be in one of the top highest paid industries in the world. And I love your mission statement, Peter, of helping the next million families and protecting the next million families. And that's one of the reasons I decided to partner up with Ethos as our technology company, because our values align.
Yeah, there are a lot of shared similar values and missions between the two organizations. So, Eric, when you think about the next 10 years, fast forward, what impact do you want GFI to have in the world from a scale and a purpose perspective?
You know, GFI's global financial impact. So first of all, we're going to go global. Officially, we're now in 33 countries already. So we're going global. And I believe we're the first IMO to do that. And when people think IMO, they think insurance marketing organization. But when I think IMO, I think inspirational marketing organization. We're not network marketing. We're not multi-level marketing. We're not affiliate marketing or pyramid marketing. None of that. This is inspirational marketing, where we're in spirit with people. We actually care about our people. We want them to get better in all 5 F's, which are core values: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. We believe that if anybody...
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
You're not inspired?
I just cannot stand this crap, man. And dude, I did this with IUL the other day on LinkedIn, and I got some really interesting pushback. Like, they completely missed the point of what I was trying to say. But I saw a really stupid video from an IUL agent talking about, like, he wasn't calling it an IUL, he's calling it a LERP, right? So which we're all familiar with. We hear that all the time. Life insurance retirement plan. It sounds like this fancy way of planning for retirement using life insurance, and then to me, it helps disguise the real issues. Like, instead of disclosing what IUL is, what the risks are, the things that go wrong, instead they're trying that you come up with these fancy, creative, unique ways to rename it, to rebrand it, whatever, call it something else that it's not. And like, it's not that I have a problem with the term life insurance retirement planning. That's not it. It's the product behind it that you're trying to disguise with that term. And that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's trying to come up with a stupid fancy term for his IMO. We're not network marketing or multi-level marketing, except you are. It's a multi-level marketing company. And to try and make it sound so much better than it is by coming up with a stupid like marketing name for it, like, it's just misleading, man. It's really frustrating.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. So in one of the videos we did before, I remember, I think it was Ian. I feel like almost guilty like saying this and joking about it without him here. But I remember Ian did this thing. Where he was like, all right, I think somebody brought up LERP, and he typed in our private chat. He's like, they're gonna have the case of the LERPies. Are you gonna get LERPies, like herpes?
I remember that.
Oh my gosh. And so, like, it's true though. Like, I'm telling you, you're gonna feel. Yeah, Matt, it's live, bro. It's live. You're gonna feel if you actually try to use a life insurance retirement plan. Which, by the way, David McKnight, the guy who like created and coined that kind of concept, won't even like step up to the plate and debate me. We're like neighbors. He lives on the next island over. We could just like take a boat and see him, and he just won't do it. I don't know what's going on, but Anyway, yeah, Lurpees, guys. If you do the Lurp, you're going to get Lurpees, and it won't be fun. I promise. So there you go. It's a thing now, guys. We've created Lurpees. It's a financially transmitted disease.
You better know about your 1035s.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Comes into business with us in GFI, that all 5 of those F's will be better. And that's really our purpose. So we're taking an old industry, but we're definitely doing it a different way. And it's been working out great.
Incredible. So most of our listeners are in the life insurance industry, either at distributors or at carriers themselves. Can you tell us about GFI's core products, your general business strategy, how you go to market, and then also what are the key differentiators for the agents and the clients who might be listening as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Most businesses out there, most entrepreneurs out there, they're trying to get you to spend money. And here at GFI, we're trying to help you save your money. And, ultimately, obviously we're protecting families with life insurance. And there's a lot of benefits of life insurance, especially with IUL, Index Universal Life, and the cash value and the tax-free retirement. So, I have a $50 million
vomit. Sorry.
Policy. My wife has a $50 million policy. All 4 of our kids have $5 million each. And so we definitely believe in life insurance. And it's funny, I talk to people and I said, hey, you have insurance on your house? Yes. You have insurance on your car? Yes. You have insurance on your cell phone? Yes. Well, guess what? You have insurance on your own life.
Wait a minute. He's only got $5 million of life insurance? Is that what he just said?
No, that was his kids.
Oh, okay.
No, he's got 50.
Protecting your wife and kids. And then some of them say, well, I don't believe in life insurance. I said, hey man, you don't have to believe in it. It's not a religion, but you got to protect your family. And they say, well, what if I die and then my wife gets all this life insurance money and then she goes and marries some other guy? I go, hey man, you can't be dead and jealous at the same time. You got to protect your family. So life insurance is not very sexy out there, but you know what? With IUL, I think it's an amazing, amazing product. And not just the IUL, but the term LB and the fixed index annuities and all these great things we're doing for families, executive bonus plans. I mean, there's like 20 different ways to use life insurance. And most people, when they think life insurance, they think death insurance. But no. We're thinking about using it as you're living. We're putting the life in life insurance. So
incredible. So the 3 tenets of your business right now are culture, marketing, and technology. How did you decide on these as priorities? And how would you describe your investment in each of these 3 tenets?
Yeah, that's a good question. And yeah, CMT, culture, marketing, technology. Those are our 3 big focuses right now. And when we think culture, we think winning environment, positive environment, great associations with great people. We believe in power couples. My wife is in business with me. We have a lot of guys and their wives are in business with them, or the wife and the husband's in business together. So power couples doing this together. We have a lot of fun. We travel the world. We do leadership retreats. We do incentive trips. We're doing a private jet tour to 10 different cities. Tomorrow, we're doing an event in San Diego. Next week, it'll be Vermont. The next week after that is Miami. So our culture is awesome. We actually like each other. We have a lot of fun. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. GFI is a family. So that's the culture. And then with marketing, we're in a new era, right? With social media and digital marketing. And I just hired a head of marketing. This guy's awesome. And it's very, very important to get your name out there. And, GFI is not just global financial impact. We believe GFI is go for it. You got to go for it. And you got to go all in with marketing. And then last but not least, the only thing I was missing was technology. And then I met you, Peter. And man, our technology has been a game changer with Ethos. And, just the fact that we can get these 10, 15 minute instant approvals, man, it's just been amazing. My agents are like blown away. There's people literally getting recruited on a Wednesday that are licensed already. Thursday, they're getting appointed with Ethos. And then Friday, they're getting a paycheck because we're paying our people twice a week. And these people are from different companies. And all of a sudden they come to GFI and they're getting paid in 2 to 3 days because of Ethos' technology. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Okay. God,
you're fired up today. You're fired up today. You got more to talk about than I do. Like Matt's just got like the no BS like tolerance going on right now.
Well, look, man,
when I let it go.
You remember when I was at the retreat, I told you like the 3 core values that I landed on were a no-brainer for me because, like you said, when you know what your core values are, you feel it, you've done the work, like you mentioned, Charles, and you see the opposite of it. You want to resist, you want to push back, you want to fight it. And when I hear crap like that, like he just said, oh, we're getting agents recruited. The next day they're getting appointed with Ethos, and the next day they're getting a paycheck. I cannot stand that. And it's what I was saying earlier about the moral hazard, the potential for moral hazard in this particular type of company where it's all focused on money, recruiting, and you're selling financial services that can have a major impact on people's lives, not protein powders and all this other crap. It's not really going to make that big of a difference. But he's talking, it's all about getting paid. So are you going to tell me that, I mean, this guy is serious. Like you're saying that within 24 hours, this person who has never sold an IUL before, has never heard of it before until he was introduced to GFI. It's an extremely complicated and risky product. You're saying that he now has the experience, ability, whatever, to sell this life-changing financial product to somebody
One call close.
How it works, how like all the things that go wrong with it. And you're telling me that you know enough about somebody's financial situation in 15 minutes to get them to make a life-changing decision on their finances. Really? Get out of here, dude. Get out of my face. I can't stay in that crap.
They did at least a half-hour call, I'm sure, not a 15-minute call. But you just hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, like, think about this. What he's saying, what he's perpetuating, like, just the words he's using there are he's like self-admitting the decay that he's bringing into this business, you know, and just like to be able to bring people in, get them in the business, and then like literally they're going to join, they're going to close 24. I mean, like when somebody joins this business, my expectation is they're not going to close anything for at least 30 days. At least 30 days. I don't even want them to, because unless you're a really exceptional person, unless you're like Matt or Charles or, you know, somebody that's gone through and you've gotten your own policy and you're successful and you've done like a 6-figure front load dump into a policy and you got a 5-figure premium and you're already so bought into it that you know what you're doing. And then you're like, shit, this is cool. I'm going to get into the business. Let's do this. Like, I'm going to help other people. Well, now you're competent enough to actually go do that with other people because you got fruit on the tree. You're doing it yourself.
Yep.
And you can just share your story. But outside of situations like that, which let's face it, is not most of people in GFI or WFG or PHP or PFA or all these crap companies. 5 Rings is another one that got brought up the other day. Like, you're just a situation that is just, I mean, it's an atrocity.
Toxic, so it's toxic and it's going to hurt a lot of people.
Well, I just can't see, you know, from what they were just talking about there before we paused it, like how is this allowed in the industry for these companies to be able to do these one-call closes in the financial services space? Like, I thought there was the 3-letter agencies that oversaw this stuff, and I thought there was the insurance commission and all this stuff that oversaw this to protect the consumer, because to me, this is a glaring failure in the financial services industry that affects all financial services. I mean, what's next? An MLM that's going to come out and be, you know, securities and selling all kinds of stuff with one-call closes. I mean, to me, you know, the idea is that the government's there to protect you. You know, that's obviously not true. But, you know, at some point, when are the legislators, when are these different companies going to come in and put a kibosh on some of the stuff that is, like you said, Matt, absolutely harming people long term? And, you know, it doesn't seem like and we know that the government is long, you know, there's a big lag behind when something needs to happen and it actually goes through the steps to put something in place. There's always sometimes many years or decades before what should have happened actually does happen. But, you know, this is just really, the more I'm seeing this stuff, you know, since I joined Life 180. Before this, I didn't really know that with the other agency I was with. We didn't get into a lot of this stuff, and it's just egregious what is going on out there, and it's allowed. And, you know, I mean, maybe a few years from now, this stuff will get a kibosh, but, you know, I hope a lot of these people that are talking about, you know, all the money that they're making these IUL MLMs, I hope they've got one of their IULs doing really good as their class action lawsuit fund, because I think they got stuff coming their way.
Yep. 100%.
I hear you, man. I think it's only a matter of time before, like, as we know, the security side of financial services is super regulated. I think it's only a matter of time before the insurance side of financial services becomes highly regulated as well. Just because, you know, when you look at all the misinformation out there and how so many people are going to be financially impacted in a negative way utilizing IULs, you know, in an investment, I think that overall, like, it's just a matter of time before, you know, it's just a matter of time before that regulation starts to come into play with how we present our products. And so that's why I'm passionate about, you know, the education side of helping our clients out.
All right. Welcome to the jungle. You know, power blips. I lose internet for about 3-4 minutes, and we're back. Here we go. Thank God for backup generators, though, because I would be screwed without them. So here we go. You guys ready to keep going and cover some good stuff while I was gone?
Yep.
All right.
We did.
It's been a game changer. So I really appreciate our partnership. It's been awesome. But yeah, we're all in on culture, marketing, technology, and we plan on being the best in all 3. It's a work in progress, but we're excited about it.
I appreciate that, Eric. So GFI stands out because you focus on financial education and empowerment versus just selling products. And, you know, you mainly offer index universal.
Matt, why are you? Wait, no, hold on. Why are you laughing?
Oh no! Oh man!
What's so
Go
funny?
to somebody else. I can't. I gotta
Mike,
calm down.
Mike, what's so
Go to
funny?
somebody else.
You guys are laughing. I don't get it.
The financial education part, obviously.
Explain.
God.
Oh man,
You work there.
like I said, they talk about two concepts and they sound great, and they don't tell you about the rest of the contract. They don't tell you the cost. They don't tell you anything. It's just, do you want your money to grow with no market risk, and do you want it to not be taxed? Well, of course I do. And that's the financial education they're talking about. They don't tell you.
What we should do? You know what I just thought of? We should get, I'm sure we could do this. We should get like a GFI or WFG sales presentation, like a PowerPoint slide deck, and like do a sales presentation on it, and like break it down and like point out where all like the half truths are in the presentation. That would cause a lot
That'd
of
be good.
That'd be
do
fun.
that would be interesting. All right.
I think to test the level of financial education that he's talking about, why don't we ask every GFI WFG agent, what's the difference between cost of insurance and net amount at risk in an IUL?
Yeah.
Can you answer that? And we can go down a laundry list of different questions to ask about IUL. Like what? Okay, so let's say you answer that. Fine. What happens when I have a $250,000 loan balance at retirement, because I've been taking all this fantasy income that you told me I could take, and I have a 0 year? What happens? What happens to my policy? What happens to my cash value? Right? Like they don't even the basics of how these products work. A lot of the times they don't know how they work. Like, and if you can't do so what are you talking about financial education? So you're just telling people that they can get upside potential, downside protection in the market, and all this tax-free retirement income. That's not financial education. You're just selling a product, which is the exact opposite of what the Ethos guy just said. I don't remember his name.
Under the guise of financial education. Like it's just smoke and mirrors. Yep.
Life insurance is the
Just so you guys know, I have a hard stop at 3:30 in like 21 minutes. I don't think we're going to get through all this video. Let's try to watch it a little bit. Like maybe give like 5 minutes and do a recap. Okay. Can we do it? All right.
cornerstone product, which is a complicated product for a client to understand. But your business partners are trained to really educate families and individuals about financial concepts, which often have a longer sales cycle. Why was education so important to you as a foundation of GFI versus just a focus on sales?
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people, there's no financial education taught in high school and college. And so you're right. We're really big on financial education. We're not into sell like other companies out there. It's more, hey, let's make sure that your family's put in the best possible position financially. And we want to help you in all different areas of your financial situation and make sure, that you're good, that you actually have a dime number, your debt, your income, your mortgage, your education. So at least hopefully about $1 million worth of protection of life insurance for your family. And we also look at your FIN number, your financial independence number, on what day you can retire at what age, right? So you have your dime number and your FIN number and do the entire financial plan. That's what actually sets them
And they're going to use an IUL to show calculated income. That's a bunch of bull crap for you to get there.
up, financially. We don't want to just sell them something and never talk to them again. We actually do annual reviews and help our clients and do the best thing for them. And that's why our persistency at about $300 million last year, we had about almost 90% persistency. So the business that pays is the business that stays, right? So if you treat your clients good, they will give you referrals. In 21 years in the business, I've never done any cold calls. We've never done any leads. Everything's been referral based, warm market. So again, if you treat people right, they'll refer you people. And that's been the basis of my business. So we believe in simplify to multiply. So IUL could be a complicated product, but we keep it very, very simple. And anybody can do it. You're looking at a college football player who used to work at the airport in a toll booth. And I'm doing what I'm doing. So if I can do it, I believe anybody can do it. But just keeping it simple is the name of the game. So
classic MLM.
That makes sense. And it's incredible that you've been able to build such a big business without becoming completely dependent on leads and really just based on a referral and community-based system. So, accessibility to life insurance has been a pressing concern. One of the things I love about GFI is you cater to a wide spectrum of clientele, not just high net worth individuals, but really the middle market, the mass market, the upper market, just given your size and scale. How do you envision the industry addressing the issues of reaching more and more underserved markets and creating more points of access for families?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of financial companies out there, they're just trying to help the rich get richer. They're focused on the top 5%, and that's fine. Those people need help as well. But what about the other 95% of the world? Those are the people that probably need the most help, right? So you take a single mom out there who works with GFI, and they can go talk to another single mom. You take a military guy who's part-time, and they can go talk to another military guy. So that's why our focus has been recruiting and training licensed agents, getting them up to speed, training them, because our whole philosophy is train people online on Zoom, but build people in person. So we're doing about 2 or 3 different events in person every single month to train them up to build a culture. And then we're training people on Zoom online. We have about 12 to 15 different trainings every single week for our company, and just training them on everything from A to Z so then they can actually understand what they're doing and be really good at it. And so even though a lot of people start out part-time with our company, a lot of people, they're doing so well that within 3 to 6 months, they're transitioning to full-time with GFI, and they're very excited about it. So it's been a game changer for a lot of people.
That's incredible, Eric. So Ethos is honored.
A to Z on recruiting, maybe. Like I mean, I guess I haven't seen their trainings on the product, but the product on how to sell it, maybe. The product on how to sell with a sales presentation, maybe, but not all the details and the ins and outs of how the products actually work. So I don't think you could say A to Z, maybe A to F kind of thing, but not A to Z.
To be one of GFI's founding partners, can you just share why Ethos, how has working with us helped launch GFI, both the instant approve everyone products that everyone loves, but also, beyond that?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was making this transition here the last couple of months, I talked to a lot of different companies, and I told them what
instant approve everyone products. Like
I've done, what my team has done, because it's not about me. There's no I in team. Team is together. Everyone achieves more. So I've had some great mentors in my life, which I really appreciate. I've had an incredible organization and team. And, I'm a team made millionaire, not just a self-made millionaire. But, at the end of the day, I look at all the great people that have been around me, and I said, you know what, we got to go do something even bigger. We got to take the entire industry to the next level. And that's why I trademarked inspirational marketing and 5Fs and, making financial services fun again. And, so we're doing all these things, but we're just, again, we're an old industry, but we're doing it a different way. And it's been very, very exciting. Like now that I'm doing this, I go, man, I should have done this like 5 years ago, but everything happens for a reason. And now is the time for sure. But when I was meeting with all these huge companies, and they were all trying to recruit me or offer me money or offer me stock or offer me this to go do it, I said, you know what, I want to be with good people who believe in what I believe. And, when I met you and you told me what you were doing in technology, and I said, man, we could be the first ever financial services life insurance company to team up with a technology company, and then we become what's called fintech, right? Financial services and technology come together. We're the first ever inspirational marketing fintech company. It's literally been a game changer every single day. And that's why
you're really going there. I'm not going to stop to talk about that a lot, but I just have to say he's really calling GFI a fintech company because they partnered with Ethos.
We're recruiting thousands and thousands of people per month because people are excited about fintech. Like I remember in my old company, I would turn in a sale. I would help a client. It would take 2, 3, 4 months to get approved. 2, 3, 4 months for somebody to get paid. And now we submit a policy with Ethos, and literally 10 to 15 minutes, boom, instant approval. So,
Okay, I got to say this. There is zero chance, if you are doing that, there is zero chance that if you have an instant issue product or within 15 minutes, that simplified issue or whatever, there is zero chance that product is the best fit for that client. Once again, instead of taking 3 months and doing what's right for the client and getting them the better, cheaper, more applicable product for their life, get them the product that can get you paid in 1 day. That's the important part here. Are you not hearing what this guy is saying? Like anybody that's watching this, anybody that's with GFI, you should be listening to this and you should be ashamed of your affiliation. That right there tells me it's complete and utter bullcrap. Like, Matt's been fired up, but I hear that crap like when he straight up admits it. And the fact that the industry and most of the people in this industry are not even aware enough to even understand enough about this business to even realize that what he just said is a problem in and of itself. I got Sam Patton here watching this and laughing. I don't know if he's laughing at me or laughing at what Eric Olson is saying, but holy crap. Like, oh my God. Like, that's insane to me.
I don't know how you can sit there and say we do what's best for the client, and then you're like,
yeah,
you do instant issue.
We're gonna do what's best for people and educate them. Like the fact that he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth so blatantly, like, yet he wants to stand on his soapbox of education and empowerment. It's such a facade. It's such smoke and mirrors, like scam. It's ridiculous.
It's a dirty box, Chris.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
The reason it can take months. It could take a couple weeks. It could take a couple months for these things to get approved is because you're taking the time to figure out exactly what the client needs. We're not trying to make a sale in 15 freaking minutes. And it's a process.
Unbelievable.
But it should be a process. Like you have to expect that it's going to be. These are, again, major financial decisions that you're making here. You want it to take a little extra time. Getting approved for something in 15 minutes, is that really,
dude?
Is that really the best thing for you?
The problem is you don't get to Eric Olson's position and not know what the hell you're doing, right? So he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's coming off as this like dude he's trying to position himself as this dude that's trying to help the industry and all these different things. But like, if you know anything about this business and you understand it, you understand that what he's saying is a total moral hazard in and of itself. You cannot put yourself and your agent's in a position where they have the ability to make money in 15 minutes when a better product for them and for the clients is going to be a product that takes 30 to 90 days to get put into place, because that's actually going to be a more affordable product, have less charges and expenses. It's going to have more cash value. It's going to have more liquidity. It's going to get you more death benefit, all the different things. It's going to be better all the way across. It's going to check every box for the client in a more efficient way. Hell, they can even bind the coverage if they want to submit the first premium payment with the application. So they can even have the coverage bound in if anything happens to them in the meantime, right? Like it's crazy to me that that is just a straight up scam to me. Like that's just like, to be able to position it like that, it just shows where the values are just in that positioning. That just shows that it's all about the money instead of about a shortcut. Like we could debate all the other things. People could come to me and say, Chris, like you don't get it. There are things that you're missing and this and that. But when it comes to this is like the nail in the coffin in the argument to me. If you're willing to do this, if you're getting on here, you're saying you're partnering with this company and this is their specialty and this is why you did it for people and it's all about making monies, like it's just ridiculous. Instant approvals. Hi, Alex. What's up, buddy? So instant approvals from a certain perspective can be okay. Not when you're selling for cash value, not when you're selling for cash accumulation, not when you're selling for distribution. They're okay. Yeah, I mean, there are products out there that will do it, but they're never going to be the best products for instant issue. It's just not.
You know what it reminds me of, Chris, is the Wolf of Wall Street when they're selling penny stocks, they're selling trash, and one call closes, like, selling financial products, forcing or getting people to make major financial decisions in 15 minutes, dump all this money into this great stock. Look at all the revenue and earnings and blah, blah, like they would really sell it. The only people that you're helping are in that situation are the brokers, the people selling this product. But it doesn't mean it's a good product. Yeah. Like, when you watch that movie, it reminds me of, like, I hear there's the things that he's saying, how he's saying it reminds me so much of stuff like that, like boiler room type stuff where all about making the sale as quickly as possible. Major life financial decision. Who cares? Let's do instant approval so that you get paid right away. It's nuts. It hurts too many. It just hurts so many people.
Totally. So somebody just asked, Alexander Baker asked, what about the policies that take a week? So there are companies that offer, and most companies are kind of moving to this, that offer what's called express underwriting. But what they're going to do is they're going to do an MIB report. They're going to go through your Medical Information Bureau report, and they're going to figure out, like, based on your application and based on your health metrics and the field underwriting that the agent does, they will put you into a pool. And typically, even if you are healthy, you got about a 35 to 40% chance of going into express underwriting. And if you do happen to fall into the metrics that allow for express underwriting, then they can approve you faster. And that can be anywhere from a week to 2 weeks a lot of times. But most of the time, even with companies that offer express underwriting, the majority of people get kicked out and they get put into a process that's going to take 30 to 90 days. The only reason you're going to get express underwriting is if you already fall into a batch of, like, or into a profile where maybe you're 40 years or younger, you are super healthy, your height to weight metrics are good, you're a non-smoker, you're super healthy, never medications, your doctor record and health history is super pristine, your family longevity history is pristine. Like, all the questions that they ask you on the app, they're going to ask you that. And if you qualify, they may put you through express underwriting. But otherwise, it is what it is. You're going to get kicked through a process. And so I think if that's what you're talking about, that is a thing. It can happen. The companies we work with have that program. But I'll tell you what, about 10% of the policies that we get will end up going through that process. But that's not a function of the policy. That's a function of just the underwriting process, because underwriting costs the insurance company money. And so the insurance company just makes a calculated decision that based on your application, based on the field underwriting, because make no mistake about it, the agent is supposed to be the first field underwriter, or the first underwriter on the thing, which is the field underwriting side, and is supposed to write a cover letter and give their take to the insurance company on their situation and figuring out should they qualify for this or not, or like what are the details that the company needs to know more about? And so you go from there. It's about 10% of people get through express underwriting. And so, but it's not, I always kind of tell people, if you happen to kind of hit the lottery and get it, lucky you, you know? But if not, then, you know, you're just going through process, but that is what it is. All right, let's keep going. I got 8 minutes and I'm going to have to bounce. I might leave and let you guys continue. I don't know.
I wasn't the best at technology, so I found the company Ethos, who is the best at technology, and teaming up together, and we're going to do something that's never been done before. You know, you asked me my vision. We're going to go recruit 2 million people. We're going to go get half of those people licensed, 1 million licensed agents. They're going to do about $20,000 in premium per year per licensed agent. And what's 1 million licensed agents times 20,000 premium per year? That's a $20 billion company. And my ultimate goal is to—
You know what though, guys, with all this shift in the real estate commissions and all that stuff that they're going to be doing with the National Realtors Association, there may be a lot of people that want to join the life insurance business to come and do this because realtors are getting their pay cut.
play off these baby boomers, because what, 78 million people are retiring and $63 trillion are switching hands, and the biggest wealth transfer happening in the history of America is going on right now. It's very exciting. And then ultimately, 7 years from now, end of 2030, GFI is going to go public. And don't believe me, just watch. If you're going to think anyways, you might as well think big. So I didn't leave $1 million a month income to play small. We're about to go do something that's never been done before. It's very exciting. And with technology, that's how you do it. So.
Incredible, Eric. We are proud to be your partners. We're excited to provide an incredible suite of instant approve everyone products. We aim to have a product for everyone, regardless kind of their socioeconomic status, regardless if they're in perfect health or if they have pre-existing health conditions. So our goal is really to support you guys in protecting everybody. Reflecting back, no one builds a business that's as big as your business without overcoming a lot of obstacles. What are some of the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome on your journey to get here?
Oh boy,
man, there's a list. We could be on for a couple hours with that. That's for sure. But you know, it's not how many times you get knocked down; it's how many times you get back up. You know, one of my biggest strengths is mental toughness. You know, and that's the goal. But you know, just a PG version of some of the things I had to overcome was just failing my life and health test back when I was 22, failing my securities licenses a couple times, and I had to keep, you know, just studying and hiring a tutor, and then finally getting my license like 14 months later. And you know, that was a journey in itself. And then, you know, now making this transition, you know, people are like, Eric, I'm with you, I'm loyal, you're my mentor, you're my coach. And then when it came down to it, they decided not to come because they got scared, right? Because they're going to lose their little income. And you know, it's interesting. You know, this process, we always say, enjoy the journey and trust the process. And during this whole process, I believe GFI stands for God favored individuals, because literally I've seen God be on our side through this whole transition. It's been awesome. But I know the people that are supposed to be with me are with me, and the people that were a little scared, they stayed on the other side. And that's okay. You know, and becoming successful and changing the industry and doing something that's never been done before is not for everybody. But it's been a fun couple months. It's been a great journey. But I would just tell everybody out there that you know, success is not for everybody, but success is worth it. But you got to go through the challenges. You got to go through the trials and tribulations, and that's where, because sometimes you call it God, you call it the universe, you call it someone who's looking out for you. Like they're seeing how bad you really want it. How bad you really want it. You know, you've seen the diagram of entrepreneurship. You hope it's like this, but really it's like this. It's like this. It's like this. And that's kind of been the journey so far. But man, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. It's, you know, like when someone says, "Man, you left $1 million a month income. You left your 20,000 licensed agents." Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. How do you feel? I said, man, I feel better than I've ever felt. I was born for this and I was built for this. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, man, I've been through so many challenges. I've been through so many adversity. I've overcome so.
Oh my gosh, because now instead of having a team of 20,000 agents that somebody else owns, you own a company that has 6,700 or 6,500 agents. So you're making more money already because you went and did your own thing, and you now control the growth and are in control of everybody else's lives. That's why you feel better than you've ever felt. Don't twist it.
So much that I know that I'm prepared now for this big move and this next moment in my life. And so, you know, whatever goes through you sticks to you. And all these things that I've been through has just prepared me for this next move of GFI. So I'm grateful, and it's going to be a fun next 7 years. That's for sure.
So, you know, I've been to a GFI conference, and I can attest that.
So here's the deal, guys. I don't know. I can't get through the rest of this. I'm running out of time. This always takes longer. Like doing these videos always takes longer. It always takes longer than I think it's going to take. Any final thoughts? Like, well, if we have to, we'll come back based on what people's comments are and stuff. We can come back to the rest of this video. We got just over 50% of the way through it. It's taken an hour and 20 minutes to do so. My head's about to explode.
I'm just wondering if I missed something. You know, you keep saying we're doing something that's never been done in the industry, and I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Yeah, right. I know he's reshaping the industry. I don't know what he's doing. Like, what is he doing to reshape? It sounds like it's just like clickbait thumbnail.
He's going for the biggest class action lawsuit that an MLO company has ever.
Ooh, I like that one.
Selling trash IUL.
There you go, Matt.
Yeah. We'll see how that plays out. My final words is real quick, guys. You know, people watching this, you know, just do your research. At the end of the day, that's really what this boils down to. You know, like I say this on my channel all the time. It's not like I'm not a fan of IUL at all, but it's not even necessarily the IUL itself that I have the biggest issue with. It's the misrepresentation. It's the lack of education that people have about it, the lack of understanding. And so if you actually do your research on GFI and IUL, and that is in alignment with you, I would be very surprised if that's the conclusion you came to. But let's say it is, then fine, do it. But listening to stuff like this, you can't, like, when we're talking about major financial decisions, we can't just blindly follow what people say. I even tell people, don't take my word for it, what I'm saying. Go take what I'm saying, compare it to whatever else you're researching, come to your own conclusion, right? Just like turn the hype off. Like when he's talking about all this money you're going to make, turn that stuff off and really do your research.
I got to end with this. Gilbert just put this up here, and it's so on point. Is like, how, in what this GFI guy is saying, which is crap in my opinion, with your experience, how is it that a client would get approved on an IUL within minutes without doing deep search on the clients? How does a company allow this? But I know it's all money and greed/corruption, right? So, I mean, I think that's the point. Like, how can in one word he speak out of one side of his mouth, talk about his company stands for education and empowerment and helping guide people and lead people, but on the other side of it, when he goes into what we sell are these really quick issue policies, and that's why you want to be with us, is because you're going to make money faster. Those are two totally opposite ends of the pendulum of what you're trying to accomplish. And he's trying to say that, like, it's just like, if you believe that, I'm sorry, but you just deserve what you get. Like, when you go that direction, like, and the education you're going to receive is going to be expensive. You know, that's just the way it is. And, you know, you can either go slow to learn slowly and take your time and not make as much money and have to grind it out and get there, or you can go fast and maybe you'll get lucky. And that happens, but it's certainly not a predictable result. But usually when you go fast, you're gonna make mistakes, and those mistakes are gonna cost money, and that is the price of education. And unfortunately, most people aren't gonna watch a video like this and take it at face value. They're gonna be like, oh, those guys really probably missed some stuff, and so I'm gonna go do this anyway. And then you're gonna go do it, and then you're gonna be, you know, 2 years later, you're gonna be like, oh crap, I should have listened to those guys when I heard them the first time, because everything they said was, well, maybe not everything, but most things they said were on point. And so, you know, just be cautious. Take time. If any advisor, any sales agent, life insurance sales agent specifically, is trying to pressure you into making a decision in your first call, I'm sorry, but that just makes me want to throw up in my mouth, even hearing it, even thinking it. You know, so I would say just exercise extreme caution. Unfortunately, I got to go because I got a big call coming up in a minute, and I got to bounce for it, and I cannot be late for it. I would, you guys know me, I would stay here and talk about this for the next 3 hours because I think this is super important, but got to bounce.
Do a part two.
Yeah, we'll do a part two. Guys, any comments, anything you think we missed, leave it in the comment section. I'll do my best to engage. Go follow all these guys. I'll put their links in the description below as well. Till next time, we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.